Welcome, Tosca Petridis and Paul Fyfield to the Combat and Conversation podcast. Thanks for coming on. All right, let's talk about, first of all, I want to just get a little bit of a backstory for both of you individually before we talk about your relationship together as a fighter and coach. Paul, let's start with Paul. Paul, whereabouts did you grow up? In Melbourne? I'm
in Melbourne, yeah. I moved into Melbourne from the country. I was born near Robinvale.
Yep.
On the Murray River.
Yeah.
I came here when I was 7.
When you were 7?
7.
7, okay. And were you, I guess, even at that time, when did you start getting into the fight world? Was it from a young age where you started dabbling in the martial arts?
No, my brother Steve was into martial arts.
Yeah.
He's into a few other things too.
So I've heard.
Yeah. When I was about 14,
It was my older Steve.
I started training again when I was about 14. Yeah.
Beautiful, fantastic. Yeah. Around 14. And what about yourself, Tosca? When did you start that? When did you grow up, first and foremost?
I grew up in Middle Park, then we moved to Yarraville.
Mm-hmm.
Went to born in Greece.
No, I was born here.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Born
okay.
here.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And what was it again?
When did you start?
When did I start martial arts? I started Shotokan at about 10 years old, then I quit. Then I went with Bobby Jones and do Kai when I was about 13.
Yeah.
13.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both of you sort of started dabbling in that world at a fairly young age. When was the time where you guys started first sort of became acquainted with each other? Was it later on in life, or was
we knew each other for a while before Tosca started fighting with me.
Yeah.
But Tosca's, after, I remember George Zack got out of jail, he went and fought at the Melbourne Town Hall in the same card as Dan fought.
Lee Rice.
No, it wasn't Lee Rice. It was that guy, Alexio, Dennis Alexio.
Dennis Alexio, yeah.
No, it was World title fight.
Yeah. Anyway, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
We've got Alzheimer's now.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, a long time ago, they both fought together at Melbourne Town Hall.
Yep.
And it was packed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and your dad knocked back 1,500, 2,000 people.
Yeah, okay.
They had to go and watch it. They had to live stream it somewhere else, or they had different terms in those days. It wasn't live streaming.
Yeah.
But they went and watched it elsewhere, and Tosca's got enthused. He had fought half a dozen, 10 amateur fights, and then it dropped off.
Right. Okay.
And he came up to me afterwards and said, he was so enthused by the atmosphere there and how many people were there. He says, I want to start training, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you've got to be serious about that, mate. You smoke 2 packets a day, so I don't think you can.
Really? You were smoking 2 packets a day? And during that time, while you were fighting?
No, he wasn't fighting at that stage.
Oh, so you hadn't dabbled in it?
He was working at Bombay Rock, I think. At that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And I said, well, you got to stop. So he stopped cold turkey like that.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, he's serious.
Yeah.
He's serious. He wants to fight.
And that's when you started taking money a week, so to speak.
That's when he started training with us. We were training down in South Melbourne. What was it?
Emerald Hall?
Emerald Hall in South Melbourne a long time ago.
How old were you at the time?
21.
21.
22, something.
Okay. So you developed this
I thought
relationship.
you'd only just turned 28.
No, 28 was. I'm still 28.
28 for the last 40 years.
Exactly.
He'd never let me look at his passport. You know?
That's it.
28. He's 28 for a long time.
28 for still 29 this year.
Well, great. It's 29. Okay, so you've developed that relationship. You went under Paul's wing, so to speak. What was, I guess, the biggest thing for you, Tosca, having Paul initially as your trainer? What was the training like for you?
Oh, training was hard. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Especially the early days, because I wasn't fit, and I had to prove myself to get fit. I had to prove to him that I'm not fucking around anymore.
Yeah.
I'm being serious about it.
Yeah. So you always pushed.
Basically, whatever he said, I did.
Right.
I didn't complain about it because I was too scared to say anything to him.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
And so we just copped it on the chin. Just did whatever he said. We just did it.
And who was in that group as well with you at the time?
Takacio.
Tony. Yep.
He's a bit of a sook.
Okay. Yeah.
Joey Lanciano.
Joe Lanciano, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was Sam involved at that time as well? No.
He came much later. Tosca's was very, very seriously. Look, when we left Emerald Hill in South Melbourne, we ended up going to Johnny Dunis's gym in Dandenong.
Yeah.
Now Tosca lived in Killor Park at that stage.
No, I have no heights.
Havana Heights, or even further away. And he never missed a session in Dandenong.
Right.
Never missed a session.
Yeah.
You know,
Always on time.
always on time.
Yeah.
Actually, very early when it was sparring.
Yeah. Okay.
Sparring.
Right.
But he never missed a session. You know, one day I was holding pads for him. We used to train. Some years later, we used to train at the Underworld, and we used to train at 11 o'clock in the morning every morning. So if you wanted to train with us, you didn't work.
Right.
We had to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And I remember I was holding the pads for him one day. It's about 11:30. We'd done our warm up and holding the pads, and all this blood started coming out the side of his mouth. So I stopped and said, "What's going on, mate?" I said, "You're bleeding." He goes, "Oh, yeah, I just had my wisdom teeth out."
Oh, yeah, I've heard this story. Yeah.
He had his fucking wisdom teeth out.
Yeah.
You know, most people are off for the day.
Of course, yeah. Sometimes a week.
Was it four? Did you have all four at that one?
The two bottom ones at the back. I took
Oh, only two. So only two out. So here he was training.
Yeah.
Like an hour and a half later.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, just bleeding out, swollen, I'm assuming.
Well, you know, I thought of it this way. You know, he's there. I better get there, otherwise I'm fucked.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, so I got to show up.
Yeah.
So he's going to do his way to fucking train me.
Right.
So
So you never thought...
It didn't worry me. Blood, teeth, big deal. Bit of blood.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it that way, surely, yeah.
That was his attitude to training.
Right,
It was really good.
And was that something that stuck out to you?
Throughout his whole career, that was so important. You know, I can tell you another story. When your dad had a big show on, Tosca was the main event. I got a phone call at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon from Chris saying, "Where was Toscas today?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Where was he?" I said, "What time?" 11:30. I said, "Well, we're training." He goes, "He had a press conference waiting for him."
Right.
He goes, "Where were you training?" I said, "At the Underworld." He goes, "Well, next door was the press conference. He was supposed to be there at 11 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I said to Tosca, I said, "What are you doing, man?"
Yeah,
"The
why
press
don't you-
conference." You know what his answer was? "Oh, Chris knows I've got training then, fuck him."
Yeah, right.
You know, training
Was number one to you.
Training come first all the time for him.
Fantastic. So, at least just from what I'm hearing now, that there was this sense that you didn't want to go against whatever Paul had.
I'll put it this way, Paul used to
Paul
go out
had
of his way. You've got to realise, at that time, Paul had 3 little kids, and he put all his time and effort into me.
Yeah.
You know, 24/7 at one stage.
Yeah.
I didn't go to one of Nick's first birthdays for the first 5 years of his life.
Because
Really?
He was always overseas with him.
Always overseas with me fighting, and it's like, you know, I thought, if I can't, what's the big deal about a press conference?
Mm-hmm.
I've got to train first. He's there. I've got to be there.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I mean, it's all like, you know, they can move it.
Of course. Right. If you've
I
got training.
don't really care. I was never a big fan with the press anyway.
Yeah, right.
I didn't care about the limelight. I just wanted to fight.
You just wanted to train and fight. That's
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah. Fair. It's so different from nowadays where it's all about the limelight.
Everybody wants, you know, the limelight.
Yeah.
I never wanted the limelight.
Yeah,
You
fascinating.
know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So, okay, now early on with the training sessions, you've joined together. You're a part of this team essentially, going out to fight. What were take me through your first few fights together as a team. What was sort of the main things that stuck out to you, if you could recall any of?
I
those
can't
things?
remember that long ago, mate. Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is about the 80s, mate.
Okay, fair enough. Well, what was I guess sort of? Was there any particular moment or any particular fight early on in your career where you were like?
Let me talk about that.
Yeah.
Is this one sort of really a lot in my head? It was when he fought Nick Telakouros.
Mm-hmm.
Now Nick Telakouros, he had a very good strong right hand. He knocked a lot of people out.
Mm.
He dropped Tarsus in the 6th round.
No, 4th.
Well, anyway, he dropped Tarsus and he stood over him and go, "You staying down?" And Tosca stood up and said, "Oh no, I'm going to win."
You came back.
Oh, yeah,
stood up.
okay.
Oh yeah, and you could see the shock that put on Nick's face. I've hit so many people and knocked them out.
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
makes it up.
It was
With
first-
no doubt on his mind, he's just shaking his head going, "Oh no, I'm going to win."
Yeah.
And he basically, you could see from then on, Toscas was going to win.
Fascinating. Okay. So that was a moment where you
I
saw.
stopped him 2 rounds later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And was that something that you would say was, I guess, consistent throughout your career? It was like, no, even if you got knocked down and all that, you
Let's
just
put
wanted
it
to
this
get
way.
back
It
up.
was like, I remember coming back to the corner after the first or second round, and I got him, "Oh, I'm fucked."
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, you've been there, you'll be right. You know, because he knew the training I put in, and I started believing it. Like, I used to be fucked after every round, after
Yeah.
the first round, second round, come back. But then I got I got better.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
got stronger and stronger.
Right.
That's how I used to wear down my opponents.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I started believing,
You had an engine.
yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
worry me. You know?
Yeah, okay.
Huge engine.
Yeah.
Despite that 2 packs a day.
No, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time before that. Exactly. And was that, what was, take me through just a basic, or not even a basic, a typical training session that you would have gone through together during that period of time.
I'll tell you about one training session. Was not only did we go to the boxing gym, then go to other people's gyms to spar, but we also went down to the track quite a lot.
Yeah.
Track a couple of times a week. But one day we were down at the track and he was fighting a 12 rounder. I said, so today you're doing 12 1Ks on the track.
12 1Ks.
12 1Ks at 3:30 pace.
Yeah.
3:30 pace. And your rest is to sit down for 1 minute, and you had to sit down to let the lactic acid build up in his legs,
Oh, shit.
and then get up. He wasn't allowed to move. Wasn't allowed to move his legs.
Purposely different.
Because that's what you do when you fight. You sit
Yeah.
down, and then you have to run the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we did it.
Nothing.
Oh, well, I suppose it was a bit of an effort.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But it was just,
Yeah.
it was
Put it this way,
duty.
it was the way I used to look at things. You tell me to do something, I've got to do it.
Mm.
There's no ifs or buts about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've gone out of your way to be here for me, and I'm not going to shit in your face and tell you, oh, I can't do it, or I'm feeling tired, or I'm feeling sick.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
It was never on your mind.
That was, you're there for me, I've got to be there for you. You tell me I've got to do it, and if you say I can't do it, I've got to prove you wrong.
Right.
That's one thing I used to do my head in. He goes, you won't be able to do it. I said, I'll prove you wrong, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then I'm sure that's what you were trying to.
He used to motivate me like that.
Of
You know,
course.
so it was like,
He never once, I can never remember him once complaining.
Yeah.
Never once.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a huge testament to how you.
I mean, it's good to be able to communicate
Mm.
with your fighter and he communicate with me.
Mm.
The way he would communicate to me to tell him there was something wrong was probably, he didn't know that he was actually communicating, but I'd see him stretching. I go, oh,
Really?
what's wrong? What's wrong? Because he's obviously doing some rehab for something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So if you saw him stretching, there was something.
Oh, nothing. He's trying to hide it.
Never stretch. I remember we trained 2.5 hour session with him one day. He goes, we'll do some stretching. Yeah, no worries. Not that I needed it, so we started stretching. I ended up pulling a hamstring. I said, fuck this bullshit, mate. Fuck
I'm never stretching.
You said it was because of the stretching. Right. So as soon as you saw Tosca's stretching, you were like, there's something going on here.
There's something going on here.
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't stretch or anything if I wasn't injured. If I do some rehab, do something. If you see me do some rehab, that means I had an injury.
Yeah. And it's probably.
But I wouldn't let him know that either.
Right, exactly. Well, it's funny because hearing potentially if someone, one of the modern fighters out there, would listen to that and all that, there's obviously such a big emphasis on proper recovery and proper
To me,
preparation.
it's just a sort of weakness. Like, oh no, I can't show them I'm fucking weak.
Yeah. You just have to. You just want
It's
to.
very different these days. Everyone's got to have their rehab session and
Of course.
their cool down and their ice bars and their.
It wasn't like that in your gym.
No.
It was just pedal to the metal, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
We had a very good physio, a
Yeah.
guy named Musta Mustafa. He's met some girl and ended up living in Germany, the arsehole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he was really good. I'll tell you the incident one day. Tosca, something had happened to his hand.
broke my hand.
He broke his hand a long time ago from something. Someone tried to hit him over the head with something, but anyway, hit his hand.
Yeah.
And he had this big lump that used to stick out from there sometimes, and I used to try and push it back in. I'd stand on his hand with my heel.
You're trying to push it in.
Yeah.
The bones would sort of pop up.
It's still there.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
And it used to get very painful.
Bigger.
Yeah. So I'd try and push it back in with my heel and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, we had a fight come up. I can't remember which fight it was.
Iron Barkley.
Iron Barkley. Not a big fight, just we'll talk about that later. But the Iron Barkley fight, which was just boxing, not kickboxing. So there's even more emphasis on your hands. And so I had him with a 16-ounce glove and wrapped to the shit house, and I had a big soft pad for his right hand.
Yeah.
And Mustafa, the physio, said, oh no, what we've got here is a whole lot of scar tissue build up and a whole lot of calcium build up. We were trying to break it away. So he would spend ages digging it. He had this steel thing that he would rub into it and break it away. Anyway, he comes and he goes, how's it going? I said, mate, pretty good today. He looks all right, It looks all right. Remember that day? Yeah. He goes, he goes, take that big glove off. I'll just put a normal mitt on, would you? I said, Mustafa, we're 2 weeks out, mate.
Yeah.
2 weeks out, let's not risk it.
Yeah.
He goes, no, trust me on this. You know, like a Greek saying, trust me, you never trust me. Luckily, Mustafa wasn't Greek. Anyway, so we took it off. It's hitting the pad. How's it feel? He goes, feels good. He goes, oh, you got the big thick pad. Why don't you put a proper pad on, you know, proper focus mitt on. So I put on the hard one. So he's gone, bang. He goes, forget the combinations, Mustafa. He goes, just load up that right hand on it. I said, mate, come on.
Come on, what are you doing here? Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So he's gone, bang with the right hand, bang, bang, bang,
Gone.
bang, done. He's done it. It was good, I wanted to do that.
Oh, yeah,
He's broken the scar tissue, now I can get into it properly. And it was right for the fight.
Right. So it was just a way for him to get. And what he didn't think you were gonna focus on it, if not just to.
You needed to after it too much.
Yeah.
We still had the rabbit, of course, tightly in it, but if anyone's seen the Orion Barkley, Google it.
Yeah.
Great
It's on
fight.
YouTube. Yeah.
Good
Absolutely.
Fight, especially Orion Barkley. He went on after that to win the world title again.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Actually, I want to talk about that briefly because I was talking about it with Sam before about leading up to fights, sort of the mentality going into it. So how you were feeling leading up to fight. What was the dynamic between you two, like on fight day, like in the morning, whatever? What was the vibe like? What was going through your head? What was going through your head?
You're talking the Orion fight?
Specifically, yeah, we can talk about that fight. Each fight's the same, or?
Every fight was the same. I was just nervous as fuck.
How nervous are you talking? Like
nervous. I used to break out in cold sores, rashes.
Really?
Yeah.
Every fight he had 2 weeks beforehand, he used to get the rash down his arm. Every
just
fight
there?
Yeah.
And it's just stress. Just stress.
It was right. I'll tell you why it was, and I explained it to people all the time. I said, I've known people who don't get too nervous before a fight.
Yeah.
When the fight gets hard, I've seen them give up.
Yeah, they crumble.
Yeah. He knew he was never going to give up.
Right.
No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. We've had arguments in the corner. I'm throwing the towel in. No, fucking not throwing the towel in. I'm throwing the towel in.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
We've had arguments like that because there's no way he was ever going to give up.
Yeah.
I said, I'm fine.
And so
I'm winning the fight again.
Yeah.
And I was.
Yeah. Exactly.
So in his own mind, he's never going to give up. And that puts a lot of pressure on you because you're going to put yourself through a lot of pain.
Physiologically. Yeah. Of course.
Mentally is, you know, I had a friend of mine one time, he runs marathons, and he goes, I had a couple of 3-round fights. He goes, they're harder than running a marathon.
Yeah.
Because you can't back off.
Yeah.
Because you back off, the other person feels it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And Toscas was never going to back off.
Yeah.
You look at his fights, as he said, he's fit, so he just push. Didn't matter what had happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, when he fought Jean-Yves Theriault in Canada,
yes,
he ended up with, I can't remember how many stitches, 20-something stitches.
15 and one.
15 in one
Fights
spot.
also.
Yeah. All together though. But no. And he fell asleep while they were stitching him up.
That was it. You just were relaxed.
He was exhausted. No, he was just so
exhausted. Yeah, of course.
12-round fight.
12-round fight.
Huge. Yes, I've seen it actually at your place.
Yeah. And that's why the rashes came, because he was scared of what he was going to put himself through. He knew he was going to put himself through it.
Yeah.
And there was no two ways about it.
Well, yeah, and you knew that you were willing to.
I knew the plan was going to go for it.
Yeah.
But the one guy you should think about, I didn't want to let this bloke down.
Yeah.
Because he put in so much effort with it, and the training sessions.
Yeah.
We were there, you know, for 3 months or 2 months we were training for the fight. You know, I think I might have drove him mad for like 24/7.
Yeah.
For 2 months, you know, every day. You know, I never wanted to let him down. I didn't care if I lose or win the fight. If I knew I did my best, I couldn't go anymore. Even if I lost, I could live with it. But if I knew I lost the fight and I didn't put 100%, I couldn't live with myself because I knew I couldn't face it.
Do you think there was could you point to any one fight where you think maybe you could have gone further, or do you think, can you say safely that every fight you went absolutely all the way?
I say 80 fights, I reckon I was always 120%.
Jeez. Yeah. Always. So you can always leave there feeling like you had done it. You had done as enough as you.
I had to live with it. It was like, you know, if I didn't put 100% in and I knew I could have beaten this guy easily, it would have been like, how could I face him? You know what I mean? He knows me too well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, he knows what I can do. I just come back in the corner, exhausted, you know, let's say in the 6th round, he used to tell me, now once you pick the pace up, I should just look at him and go, pick the pace up. Go flat out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you can pick it up now. Once you pick it up, you can never stop on this bloke again. You know, because he won't be able to go with you. And he was right.
Like talking about like corner chats as well, did you find that, because you mentioned before that if he said you can't do this, you'll get motivated. What was the chats like? Did you know exactly what you needed to say to Tosca in order to get him?
We had a very good relationship in the corner. I didn't have to yell.
He was calm about
everything.
I could talk. This is not when he's in the corner. This is when he's fighting. I could talk to him.
Really?
And he would hear it.
Even while he was fighting?
Yeah, I would talk to him. Didn't have to yell. Well, sometimes I got to be excited.
Yeah.
And you know, I might have to talk, but I might have to yell sometimes because the crowd's so loud.
Yeah.
And most of the time I could just talk to him. And I used to tell him, "Get the fight over near us so I can talk to you."
You used to say that to him?
Yeah, get the fight over near us so he can talk to us. You know, make the other person feel uncomfortable. His trainers are.
He's in your world.
Yeah, it's our world.
He's in there fucking.
How did you resonate with that type of thinking as well?
Like, you know.
That's a big word, resonate.
No, did you feel like having that sense of team?
I look at it this way. I knew it was like I had someone else help me out fighting. You know what I mean? Because when you're in there, you're on your own. You know what I mean? If you don't listen to your corner, you know,
you're gone.
You're gone. Especially when the fight gets tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think there's something interesting to, I guess, being on the opposing end of it when you see another fighter coming in. If you see that the coach and the fighter have that type of strong relationship.
But the thing is, it becomes fun after a while. It becomes actual fun once.
What do you mean?
If I got him in the corner and he's just telling me to do something, I get to another level. It's like I find it funny, and it's like I can start believing myself, I can start doing things.
Yeah.
Even better, and it works.
Yeah.
And it just humiliates the opponent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, completely decimates him.
I could just chit chat because you have him in the corner there, and I could chit chat to Toscas. Try this one, mate.
Yeah, just like go on. Have a
Look
go.
at that left rib, it's there.
Okay. And he said, "Oh yeah, fuck, he's right. There we go."
It was like a game.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's
it was
fantastic.
enjoyable. Instead of being like a comedy act.
Yeah.
You just come off.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard a fighter or a coach as well say that at some points it becomes like a comedy act because it's just like you're ganging up on this dude.
It was basically because the opponent felt like probably deflated because he's telling me to do something and I'm just doing it and it's coming off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's telling me, now work
Try
the
this.
other way
Yeah.
and do this and it come off and it's like, he's probably hearing this and he's like, what the fuck's going on here, mate?
Yeah.
I can't cover up, I can't do anything.
Exactly. Let's talk about the nuts and bolts of these things. I believe you're a 7-time world kickboxing champion, right? 7-time world kickboxing champion. Paul with you for the majority, if not all of those bouts. What was the seeing Tosca go through? I guess over the extent of his career, going from success to success. What was that giving you as a trainer? Because I know at the same time, I was speaking to Sam again, that you had a bunch of fighters under you. I don't know if they were exactly at the same time, but to see Tosca in particularly like go, I guess, so far with his career, particularly for the time as well. You know, talking about the conception of kickboxing, mixed martial arts in Australia was relatively new. I mean, it was quite a wave of enthusiasm of the 80s, the 90s. To see a homegrown boy do so well, even going overseas and winning and becoming the world champion. What did that do for you, particularly in your mind as a coach?
I just thought it was a lot of fun when you got people who are so enthusiastic.
Yeah,
it is just so enjoyable. I'm a school teacher as well.
Yes.
When I have kids in my maths class and they're all competing against each other to do better, you know how much fun that is just teaching them maths.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and it's a little bit different to teaching someone to punch someone in the head.
Yeah, it's like,
It was. And Tossi said, "Oh, Paul had to go out of his way to blah blah blah." No, I wasn't feeling like it was going out of my way.
Yeah.
You know, I was there to look at that because you had Tarsus, you had Semi Greco, you had Dean Delic, you had Wade, all these big guys. I'm talking all the heavyweights, and you know they'd be sparring in this little ring at the Underworld gym, and you'd turn around and the entire behind you, you could have sold tickets. There was like 150 people there.
Yeah.
There was an alleyway at the front there, and they're all looking through the window, and that was every day. Every day it was just so.
It was just fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was so good having all these people so focused. And that was all the heavyweights, and then you had the lighter guys, like Tony Torcasio and younger Eddie Delic, and there's so many people at the time, Joey Lanciano. It just went on, and to see them actually get fruits for their labour was
rewarding.
Was rewarding for them. Or sometimes I didn't take it too seriously whether it was a world title or not. I just took it as a fight. I remember one time they said stand for the national anthem, and I remember turning to your dad and go, when in Toscas, I said, this is a world title. He goes, I don't know. This is world title. He goes, it's a world title, you fucking idiots, Chris says. I said, oh, sorry, mate.
So, and actually that leads me to the next question is, was the approach different depending if it was it's sort of your regular fight or a trip? No, same thing. And the same calmness? Same?
I was always calm. Always calm. If you would have seen me, I used to go around talking to people. Everybody thought I was nice and relaxed. But I was nervous as fuck.
Yeah, right.
That wasn't my way of dealing
That's
with
why he's running around talking to people.
Yeah.
That was my way of dealing with
Before the fight?
Before the fight, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But that you were just holding it in, trying to hold it in.
You know, you see me walk from the change room to the ring with Paul, I was dead focused. It was like, I didn't care. If a naked woman come past me, I wouldn't even notice her.
Right.
You know?
Once you were locked in, you were locked in.
I noticed it. Remember that time? I noticed her.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about, because I know there's, obviously there's only probably so much we can say and talk about, but how about this? Were there any points either at the gym or going overseas and sort of preparing for your fight in Canada and whatnot, where I guess maybe some bizarre instances or any sort of crazy stories that happened leading up to fights? I know there are plenty in the gym, and you've heard.
In the gym, it was great. We used to have fun in the gym.
Yeah.
Especially me and Sam.
Yeah.
Because Sam used to cry a lot.
Tell him, you can tell him directly to the camera.
I love the guy, you know?
Yeah.
But it was like, sometimes he'd be just too serious about his fight.
Yeah.
And I was just a big clown.
Yeah.
You know? And I used to just love fucking around. And the good thing about it was Paul used to encourage me to do it.
Yeah. You used to egg him on.
Of course I did.
Yeah. So it seems like you had fun as well.
Oh, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
The whole training, being in the gym and being with the people around you, you just had fun.
Yeah.
If you didn't have fun, I don't think we would have trained as hard, because we're competitive against each other as well.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like who can hit harder, who can hit you more.
Yeah.
You know, if you got me a good one, I'm going to have to pay you back now.
Well, what about Tony? Considering he claims that he's the first person to ever beat you.
Well, that's part of the humour. Tony was on the undercard.
Yeah.
When Tony was fighting for the Australian title, he was the main event fighting for the Australian title. So Tony always says, well, I was Paul's first Australian champion.
Yes, he told me that on the podcast.
Oh, did he? Well, he's still living off it.
Yeah. But that's not true, is it? You claim that that's ridiculous. This is a formality. It was a disqualification, right?
No, it wasn't a disqualification. It was just happened to be first.
He was
it was a technicality, I mean.
Yes.
But in effect, yes, he was the first one.
Okay, in effect.
By a few minutes.
He forgets I won world titles back in the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
He won nothing.
He was also, but he was also telling me that you got when you had a bit of a bout in the gym and you got disqualified for something
No, this was a teams tournament.
A teams tournament. That's right. That's the one he keeps telling me about.
And he was on Percy's team, and I was on the other side. I was with the Lebanese team at the time.
Yeah.
And Percy goes, "Listen, he's going to beat you. Just run up to him. He's going to kick you and knock you out, and you'll win by disqualification." And that's exactly what happened.
He claims it. So, okay, so you've...
What about when Tony had Laura, his wife was sitting there, ringside, watching him sparring with Stan, actually.
Stan, yeah.
And Tony weaved to throw a left hook as Stan went to kick, and Stan kneed him straight in the head and knocked him out, and his head ended up between his...
That was me. That wasn't Stan. That was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Okay.
I was trying to blame Stan, you idiot.
No, Stan was there because Stan goes to him.
Stan said weave. That's right. And so you need him in the head.
And goes, when you were knocked out, he goes, Tosca just wouldn't got a drink. What do you want me to do?
But Tony's head landed between his ex-wife's feet.
Yeah.
And she's looking down at it, and she went, oh, okay. And just sit there. Wow. And afterwards I said, you're very cool. He goes, oh, I thought that happened all the time.
That was a regular occurrence. My God. Okay, so there's obviously a bunch of stuff that you guys got up to, and it does seem like you had a lot of fun in those years as well. Was there, again, because I'm very interested in sort of the mentality behind it, was there moments where did it all blend in together, or were there times where you had to say, okay, we've had enough fun, let's clue in? Or was it just kind of like this organic process where everyone was just having fun at the same time?
It was fun, but it was serious.
At the same time. Yeah.
No, we weren't always stuffing around. No, we definitely weren't stuffing around. Sometimes before training, after training.
Yeah.
Their idea of stuffing around during training
Yeah.
was to go harder when they sparred. You know, I remember he was sparring, Toscas was sparring with Wade. And they're sparring away, and my cornerman Brendan Party, who was with me together for over 100 fights.
Yeah.
I said, turn the timer off, would you?
Yeah.
That was
And
it.
after about 5 or 6 minutes,
Wade. Wasn't me.
Wade, yeah. Wade goes, hey bro, what's with the time?
This is a long round.
I said, keep fucking fighting, want to be carrying like it is. He goes, chill bro. I said, tell me to chill.
You're just going for it. You're just going. I've heard that's happened a couple of
He was
times.
actually telling me, now pull up, Toscas, pull up. It's like, I'm thinking to myself, he's going hard at me. I'm going to pull up. Fuck him. So I'm like, so we just kept going for it.
Yeah.
Kept going for it. This happened a couple of times, not once.
Yeah. Well, Sam said that it happened between you and him as
Well,
well.
it happened between Sam, it happened between Jamal.
everybody.
It happened for fucking everyone, really.
I happened with Jamal Kern, didn't it? Yeah, I turned the timer off on that one too.
So there were multiple times where you just literally turned it off and said, go.
You don't want to listen? Go kill yourselves.
How would it end? How would it end? With both of you being
I'd pull
exhausted?
them
or
up in
something?
the end, yeah.
Oh, you would pull them up
I'd
at
pull
the
them
end.
up in the
Okay,
end, but-
all right. I thought it was like either someone's dead or exhausted at that point. Okay, so you would just go for it.
It became very hard in the end. Look, we could always get sparring with the guys that we trained with,
Yeah.
but it's so important to go to another gym. So you get that nervousness of a new place. Everyone's against you, or not against you, but it's just new and it's not familiar, so familiar. So we always go to other people's places to train. We got to the stage where it was getting really difficult to get Toscas sparring because he couldn't help himself, could he?
I used to have one gear, and that was just to go flat out.
That's
I remember one guy, I could see Toscas. The guy landed a couple of shots, and I just went. I went cigar.
in Greek.
So that's Greek for
It was
take it
Greek.
easy.
Yeah.
You know? And the next punch, he broke the bloke's ribs, and then he broke his nose with the right hand over the top of that. And I said, "What do you think cigar means, Simon? You're Greek, mate. You know." He goes, "He fucking started it."
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
it
went for
was
it.
bad because we used to go around to a lot of gyms, and
Yeah.
he used to tell me off all the time.
One day we rocked up to a gym in Richmond
Yeah, I like
for sparring, and I don't know, it's probably a different story than you're thinking of, but the guy, there was no one there to spar. They said, "No, I'm not going. So who spars him? I'm left.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Afterwards, I said, "Can you just drive around for a little while until we find my car? Because I don't know where I parked it."
yeah.
Because he hit it so hard in the head.
Yeah.
Good bloke.
Yeah, but you,
Yeah.
but
I'm half his weight.
Yeah, but because he used to know what I was going to do too. It used to frustrate me.
yeah, because he would. Yeah, he's a coach.
You know, he's like, here he comes. And I used to get more mad,
You had to kill him more. Yeah, exactly.
and I wanted to kill him. You got no idea.
That's fair dinkum. I couldn't find.
He used to tell me, here comes, he's coming, and you go to the body and go,
Wait, he would say this while you're fighting.
while I'm sparring him, because you knew my combinations.
Yes,
You know? You knew exactly which way, you knew which way I was moving, you knew what I was going to do. And he used to make me so mad, I wanted to kill him.
Yeah, jeez. Oh my gosh. So you.
Stop saying that to me, I go.
Yeah. Just let me do my thing. So it's because you knew each other so well, or
Oh,
you
he
knew
knew
him
me
so
like a-
the
like a
back of your
book.
head. Yeah. So so it's funny to hear that because it seems like, you know, again, just comparing it to now, if we found out that there was a boxer out there or a kickboxer or an MMA fighter whose coach was turning off the timer and letting them get brain damage and just belt each other for that long, there would be a little bit more of an uproar. But back then it was like you're again, it was like
Brain
iron
damage.
sharpening iron. So
Brain damage.
I-
You can't damage something that's already damaged.
I've been fighting too soft these days. You know?
yeah, exactly.
Very early on in his career, when we were thinking about maybe doing some boxing, or after he'd fought kickboxing, his legs were banged up, we used to box a bit, and we didn't know much about boxing. We were pretty much self-taught.
Right.
So he was like a little dummy for me, you know. And we got in touch with a very tough Australian boxer, a man I have a lot of respect for. Or he's dead now. That's Rod Carr.
Yeah.
And Rod Carr used to come down and thinking, oh yeah, you can see Rod, he's a kickboxer. Oh, this bloke's tough. I remember one day they'd done 7 rounds and Tosca got a broken nose, so I pulled him out and I'm looking around going, oh, there's no one else to spar him. Looks like, well, I've got to step in, you know. And I didn't want to step in with Rod Carr because you know, he was tough and he didn't hold back really, you know.
Right.
Anyway,
Same as me when-
Similar to you, yeah.
Yeah.
And after one, so Tosca got out after 7 while they had checked his nose out, and I jumped in and sparred with the Rod Carr. And after one round, I said, I can't do any more. Darcy, you're back in, mate, And I told him, I just trying to test how tough he is, really, I was just going, oh, fuck, I'm fucked.
Yeah, after one round, yeah. And then you came in, how'd you go?
Yeah, we did the same thing. We just at each other.
Yeah.
Me and Rod used to go at each other all the time.
Yeah.
It was just like, I remember we were sparring down at Keith Ellis' gym in Werribee, and the press was there, and they go to Keith, you should have just sold tickets to the spar, to the fight.
Yeah.
Because these was better than watching these guys spar, was it?
Yeah. It was just that intense.
Yeah, Rod loved it because he could spar with someone
Exactly.
nice and hard. The same as Peter Gillespie.
Yeah, oh,
He's a guy from the Dandenong area, he's
like a mule.
He used to go afterwards, he goes, I can't spar with those blokes, I might as well shadow spar,
He used to knock out people with just jabs.
I saw him do a demo.
He used to knock out people with just jabs.
Yeah, I saw him do a demo in Dandenong at a fight night one night, and his opponent had pulled out, so they got 3 guys up there just to spin a spar with him. He knocked 3 of them out.
Jeez.
That was Peter Gillespie. And when he came down and sparred, I love sparring with Toscas,
Yeah.
It's really good. And at the end of the spar, they'd all be looking in the mirrors at their cups. Oh, you got me the good one here. Oh, yeah, you got me this one.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange, isn't it?
Well, Sam was saying the same thing, that it's like a lot of that generation, like the fighters after they went to war.
A good spar, you felt alive.
Yeah.
You've actually done something.
Well, do you think, looking back, even those ridiculous like timer off type of bouts as well, did they do a lot of good for you as well?
I reckon they did. It was like we didn't listen to what he was saying, but but it actually, you actually done something. You felt like you'd done something.
Yeah.
You left it all in there. It's like you cheated your way out of it. You know what I mean? Like these days, you do some light sparring. Oh, you're going too hard. It's like, mate, come on. Seriously, I didn't even touch you. I hit you to the body, and you're crying with a body shot. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, body's for your game. You know what I mean?
Well,
like the expression, Nikita?
What's the expression?
The older we get, the better we were.
Yeah, exactly. Looking back in hindsight, of course. Well,
I did get better the older I got.
Yeah, that's right.
I had 7 straight wins. First, I knocked everybody out within 1 or 2 rounds. The last 7 fights.
The last 7 fights.
Last 7 fights, and I was 38 to 40.
Yeah.
No, I think the truth coming out about your age.
Better with age. Better with age. Like
Exactly.
a bottle of wine.
Yeah, that's right. Well, do you think that, talking about sort of the comparison now, what would you say the main differences are, both as a fighter and as a coach, to sort of the fighters now and the relationship they have with their coaches in comparison to your day?
I reckon the fighters these days, it's too much, what's it called? They're too soft. They've got fucking cotton wool around them. You know what I mean? Don't hurt him. It's like, mate, let the guy fight. Let him feel what pain's all about.
Right.
I remember training a couple of MMA fighters. I trained them like I used to train. You didn't want to train the way I train? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? You complain, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Oh, this hurts, I don't care, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to be too scared to say anything to him.
Yeah. Like saying boo. Exactly.
That's one thing I've noticed is at the times when we were training together. So it's not only now, but it was also in those days that some fighters would want to dictate to the trainer what they were going to do that day and how they were going to train.
Yeah.
When it has to be a discussion amongst you both of you, and in the end, it's the trainer has the say.
Yeah. Final say.
I'm not going to say that because I was the trainer.
No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I think that's very important. I've seen people get out, I've had enough.
You can't do that.
You never say that.
You would never say it.
You can't do that.
If anyone's ever said that to me, you've had enough. Okay, well then off you go.
There's the door.
Get back in.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there was a sense of, it sounds like tough love as well, that it's probably missing.
It has to be. Oh, Parry Nicolai, he goes, how come everyone's getting a fight, but I've never had a fight yet? I said, because you turn your head away when you spar, mate. You can't fight like that. He never turned his head away after that.
Yeah.
Never turned his head away after that.
But it relies upon the trainer and the fighter being honest with each other, right?
Yeah.
Being just brutally honest about where they're at, and agreeing upon, hey, if you want to become a
you
world
want
champion.
Look at the way I think. You want to be a fighter? You want to get to become world champ? Shut your fucking mouth. Do what your trainer tells you to do, and just prove him wrong. If you say you can't do something, you say, no, I fucking can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like, oh, you're right, I've got to go and have a share in there because he's getting to be too hard.
Yeah.
But everyone's getting hard in the ring. Yeah. Who's going to help you?
Yeah.
Your trainer can't help you, mate.
Yeah.
You're in there by yourself.
You're by yourself out there, mate.
Yeah.
I'll add my 2 bobs worth in from over here, but really you're on your own.
You're in your
It's not a team sport.
Exactly.
People get hurt.
Yeah.
That's what they don't realise.
Yeah.
You don't put the effort in training. You walk in here, you think, oh, you're nice and flashy, this and that. You might do 1 or 2 rounds, and after that, you're fucked. Because you won't have the steam, you won't have nothing going.
Well, what would you say, I guess, for both of you as well? What was the main reason even getting into the fight world in the first place? I know you said you started quite young, both of you, but what was the drive for you and what was the drive for you? Just because the idea is, you're right, like you're in there, you're going to get hurt, right? So you have to either love this game or essentially be willing to die for it, you know, because...
That's right. I still wanted to learn how to fight, basically, and wanted to be the best at it. And after seeing him on Channel 9 while we were beating the American, like Costello and fucking, you know, well, fuck.
Wanted to do that.
Oh, you know, and I was already a fucking strange champ at the time, you know, and then he was like, I've got to get there, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't even fit those days when I was a strange champ, you know, after Beach Stanley or whatever, you know what I mean? And then when I seen that, I thought, oh, I'm going to start training before we fucking...
Oh, was the Kyokushin days? The karate days?
What was that, sorry?
Was that the karate days? Yeah, when you were fighting karate, when you were competing.
Oh, he was talking about kickboxing.
Kickboxing, yeah. And you took a lot of inspiration just from.
Yeah, you know, after seeing him do that, fuck, you know.
Yeah, you can do this.
Yeah, you got to put the work in anything you do. You know, if you want to be a mathematician, going back to being in school, you got to study.
Yeah.
You want to be a fighter, then you've got to train hard. You've got to study that art.
Yeah. You got to realise something too. Everything I did, he did with me. I'd go for a run, he'd be right next to me.
You train together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he used to push me, like, you know, he's getting in my ear, like, oh, you know, you're getting tired, are you, mate?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll show you, you're getting tired.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when we were in Montreal, he goes, we'll go for an easy run.
In Montreal, he's fighting Jean-Yves Thierry.
Yeah.
He's got to make 76 kilos.
And I was 100 grams over.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We got there 10 or 2 weeks before.
2 weeks prior to the fight.
2 weeks, so 14 days beforehand, and he had to be very careful of his diet. So we had to watch his diet, but at the same time we had to keep up some training.
Yeah.
We go for a run. We looked at the map. Montreal. There's a whole lot of green spot. That's a park there, you know, on the map. Montreal's French for Mount Royal.
Yeah, Mount Royal.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought, let's run to the park. So we go up this run, up.
Got lost.
I'm thinking I'm probably overdoing this with this. 15 k's later altogether.
Oh shit!
15 k's
later.
later.
He's going for a 5k run.
And he's watching what he eats.
Jeez, so you were lean already by that point, but you were hungry.
No, I wasn't complaining about it. It was just like I said, you know where you're going? He goes,
yeah. You had no idea.
We ended up at the Olympic Stadium at one stage.
Oh shit!
You know, at least we got a good view of the Olympic Stadium.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, as you said, you have to have the hunger for it, or there's no point. But you know, Paul, even just, you know, from what I've been told and doing my research as well, you were one of the first, you know, at least out of Australia, one of the even now.
He was the first bloke to put Australia on the map.
Put Australia on the map in terms of martial arts for karate and kickboxing as well. So, what was the drive for you to be, again, to stand out amongst the crowd essentially and delve into this world?
Well, it was never my greatest love.
Really?
Greatest love was teaching. Was teaching these guys.
Yeah.
I remember I used to do karate at the Bob Jones Corporation, and Dave Berry used to be a coach on a Friday night, and we used to call it full contact karate on Friday night. In other words, you just punch each other in the head a little bit.
Yeah.
And one day I rocked up the training. I was only 16 at the time, and I don't know. Oh, you got fights tonight. What do you mean? I've got fights. That was my first fight.
Yeah.
You're fighting tonight, Paul.
Straight away.
Okay, well, you do what your instructor says, same as what he did.
Yeah.
So I did the fights, and I only ever had 7 fights. I didn't have many fights, 7 fights over 7 years. There was very few promoters in those times as well. Mm-hmm. And my last fight was the one that I'm still living off, you know.
Yeah. But your goal was always to veer into teaching?
No, I didn't have a goal. I just was young, you know. When you're young, you don't really have a goal. Well, I didn't. Yeah. I still haven't worked out what I want to do with myself. But I was very interested in. I enjoyed martial arts. I enjoyed hard training. Mm-hmm. You know, I enjoyed the fitness aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I was training with Percy Lanciano and George Zachariah, who were really the pioneers of kickboxing before me. But I happened to fight an American before they fought international fights. You know? And that put me on the map, and maybe put Australia on the map a little bit because Mark Costello should have beaten me.
Really?
He should have beaten me, but he thought I both only had 6 fights.
Took it easy.
So he came over for an easy no, and he got a bit of a shock. That was all. It was his mistake. But it put me on the map, and I went, oh, hold on a sec, because the next fight they wanted me to do was to fight for a world title against a bloke that had 50-something fights, who watched that fight, and he wasn't going to make the same mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. So took it seriously.
Oh, I just might step back here a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not right ready. You know, I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. So you it's just funny to hear that, even though you started so young and you had 7 fights, but it did have such an impact on, at least on Tosca as well, but just the entirety of Australia, in the sense that, this is our boys sort of taking it on internationally, which is such a
it was a big fight for the
It
time.
was a big thing those days.
yeah.
Because Wild Wars Force picked him up, interviewed him with Costello and all that shit. And it was huge. You're watching him on Channel 9 when you're a kid, when I was 15, 16, whatever I was. You know, I think, fuck, I know that bloke.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like a big thing for
Like a
us.
celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
a celebrity.
But there was no social media back those days, nothing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you were lucky to get on TV.
Yeah.
When you got on TV, you thought, fuck, he's made it, mate. You know what I mean? Want to get there.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Now, I want to talk about sort of how, obviously we can talk about the successes, you know, for another 5-6 hours, but I want to know, were there any times throughout your training process or leading up to fights, or were there any moments where there was a bit of a hurdle that you both needed to overcome, either as a duo or just in preparation to a fight? Anything in particular that stands out as like, oh, I remember that we had to sort of overcome this in order to get the win, or whatever it was? Was there any moments that
It was just some injuries sometimes.
Mostly, yeah, okay.
It was injuries because the attitude never changed.
Yeah, because exactly, yeah.
We never had conflicts.
Yeah. yeah.
So we never had a conflict. You know, we're like a happily married couple, which is a very rare quality these days.
I was surprised they put up with all these years, mate.
You reckon? Yeah. But you were a free spirit. You're having fun all the time.
It's the problem. I was having too much fun at the time.
Yeah. We're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing. Having fun, training hard, laughing at people.
Yeah.
But so there was no real hurdles to overcome that I saw until the very end. When Tosca was getting to the stage where it got very hard at one stage there, because he had 6 international fights pull out, 5, sorry, in 1 year, and then so he wasn't training that hard, and it was towards the end of his career he wasn't training, so because he got disheartened. He's already had 70 fights or so.
Yeah. At that point.
And all of a sudden there's this fight. Oh, okay, so he's training his ass off. Ernesto Hoost, no, that didn't work out. Oh, Peter Rose, okay, so it was all big names.
Yeah, it's huge.
Training his ass. Falls through again, then this another one falls through.
Yeah.
And then one day I said, he hasn't been training that, he hasn't been turning, like he used to never miss a day, but sometimes he would miss one or that sort of stuff. And I would be talking to him about it. And then one day I said, hey, I got the tickets, mate. We're actually going. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But then again, when he starts fighting, he's fighting in Paris for that fight.
Yes.
He was fighting, and I could see he was struggling a little bit, and I'm yelling out, well, have another Heineken's, mate.
Yelling at during the fight.
Yeah, I'll go back to the clinic. I said, well, since you don't want to listen, he goes, you've got your Heineken, you'll be fine. You might listen to me, I'll tell you.
Because you
You shouldn't knock this bloke out in 2-3 rounds. You've gone 12 rounds with this bloke. Well, you won the fight, but Jesus, you're not getting paid overtime for it.
My God.
It was pretty funny because your dad was in the corner there. He came over with
Yes. I've seen the footage.
Yeah, he said, you got one job, Chris. He said, okay, you just do the time. Let me know every minute. Let me know when there's X amount of seconds before the end.
Yeah.
And just keep it on the time. So at the end of the first round, and he had to get rid of the bucket of ice at there. He pulls the bucket, he drops the timer in the bucket.
My dad? Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. No timer.
Yeah.
No timer. 12-round fight.
Yeah.
No,
The one job.
that was his one job.
The one job, and he stuffed it. Exactly.
So he's talking about hurdles is who you have in the corner.
Yeah. That's it.
That's why
Yeah.
Brendan was such a delight to have in the corner, because he didn't have to worry about anything.
Any of that. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Nothing, because he was there. He had spare mouth guards. He had everything.
He was all prepared.
from that day on, he always had 2 timers.
2 times.
It was
Okay.
not going to happen to him.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I can't believe so. Brendan's involvement spurred in part from my dad's incompetence in the corner.
Totally.
I've
Totally.
done it a few times.
Oh my God.
That was the first time.
That's shocking.
Done it in Japan a couple of times too.
Oh gosh, really? Even in Japan?
It's an embarrassment.
It was. Done in France, we come with these.
You don't want to say it. Well, I've heard a story. You told me this is involving the 2 of you. I think you guys were going to Sydney at one point, and someone was in a car, and what happened there?
Yeah, well, he was telling me, "You're not listening to Paul. You're not listening to Paul." And I was driving the high car. We're going to the airport.
You're going to the airport, right?
I go. I do listen to Paul. He goes, "No, you don't listen to Paul." I go, "Paul, do I listen?" He goes, "Now, Toscas, this is what I want you to do. Wait the lights. I want you to rev the car, put your foot in the accelerator, and just drop it into drive." I go, "No worries." And your dad's going, I go listen to what
Chris is saying, no. He goes, no, you told him to do what I said.
I just blew the whole car up.
You blew the car up completely.
I just
Completely.
did the diff. Chris had to get a taxi to the airport.
Yeah, he said it was a write-off. He said the car was gone. And what? And did you all go to the
I
airport?
go, "Sir, I listened to what Paul's going to say."
We weren't going to the airport. Chris was going to the airport.
Okay, so I've got a different story. I was told that after that I got into the airport. You went on this plane to Sydney, and the masks came.
That was another day.
Oh, that was another. What happened there?
That was he did our heads going to the airport. We're going to be late for the flight. We're going to be late for the flight. I go, "We're not going to be late because people always take our time. You know, we're going to be late. We're going to be there early." We finally got there. We finally got on the plane, right? Anyway, we were up about 33,000 feet, and then we lost cabin pressure, and the plane actually nosedived 20,000 feet. The motors come out, the plane started shaking.
Jeez.
I just looked over to your dad and go, "See, now we're all going to fucking die because you wanted to catch this plane."
The Toscas was screaming, "We're all going to die, we're going to die." The hostess, "Please, you're making you're making the passengers afraid, you know." He goes, "But we're going to die."
What were you doing at that throughout all this? Were you just laughing? How were you in
I was
that?
terrified, I thought we were going to die.
That's insane.
One day we were coming back from Europe and we weren't travelling business class, you know, coach all the way.
Yeah.
You know how the big jumbos, they've got 4 in the middle or 5 in the middle.
Yeah.
And we used to go on last because I didn't like standing in queues.
Yeah.
And as we were walking in, we were the very last people were staring at us like, "Why are you keeping us late?"
Yeah.
And Toscas saw one bloke get out of his seat because he's with a few other people and go and sit one of these empty rows of 4 or 5 to have it to himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we're sitting in a 3 and there's 2 of us, so there's not much room. Toscas walks down because he sees this bloke and he stands over this bloke and looks at him. The bloke looks up at him. And then the guy stands up and goes, sorry mate, I thought there was no one here. You know, he got up and Toscas lay down.
Yeah. Lay down at the fucking thing. You didn't have to say anything. You didn't have to say nothing.
He didn't say anything.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Like if the bloke didn't ask to see his ticket.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to look. You just have to say who you are, and that's it. That's all.
Mate, good to go.
That's fantastic. Okay, so I want to find out, I guess, what was, in your opinion, it would be interesting to see if you guys differ on this, but what were your hardest fights, would you say, that even either in camp or being there as well, in the ring? What would you say were your hardest fights throughout your career?
My hardest fights, I reckon, was sparring Peter Gillespie.
Really? Sparring? Yeah.
And Rod Carr.
Yeah. Rod Carr, yeah. That would have been my hardest, because Pete hit like a fucking mule, mate. I remember the first time I was sparring him. After the first round, I go back to the floor. I go, "What is this guy going so fucking hard for?" I go, "I'm going to take his head off."
Yeah.
Because he goes, "No." He goes, he's got good timing. I go, "Mate, his jab's like a right hand."
Yeah.
And when he hit with the right hand, the fuck is going.
It wasn't fast either. It's just the time.
Just
wasn't
timing. He had great timing.
So you actually learnt a lot from him as well, just
Oh yeah, we went for a
Yeah.
we went for a hell. You got no idea. Sparring was actually good.
So for your whole career, sparring him was
Sparring him and Rod Carr would have been probably the hardest. Like I sparred a lot of world champs.
Yeah, world title.
Well,
World title
even
fight.
Virgil Hill was sparring him for a while as well when he was down here.
it? Virgil says, "I just come for a spar."
You kind of killed
I just
him.
wanted to kill him.
Toscas trained very hard, and those guys are very hard spars. But every fight is hard. Every fight that goes the distance is hard. except for that one bloke who didn't throw any punches out, it just covered the whole time.
Yeah, Phil Gregory.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We didn't throw any punches at all?
Nothing. He just ran around for 10 rounds.
Yeah. But there's a lot of hard fights. I mean, he fought Robbie Carmen over 3 rounds a couple of times, and one was 5 rounds.
One was 5 rounds. Yeah.
And they were a hard fight if it's only 3 rounds because you know the damage he does to your legs, etc. Ernesto Hus,
yeah.
it was hard.
Another legend of the.
You know, they're just hard fights, but you don't approach them in any different way than any other fight. You just approach. Yeah, of course, okay, this is what Ernesto does, so this is what we've got to train for. This is what Robbie does, so we've got to train for him. Robbie Carmen, the first time they fought, the entire crowd that was there for Robbie. They all had Robbie Carmen hats on, they had Canal Plus, and so we came out, Tosca came out and did his little intro, blah, 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 and there's a couple of polite claps and a few fuck off Aussie,
yeah, basically.
And with a French accent. Anyway, then Robbie comes out and the whole arena goes berserk, you know. I said, Tarsus, feed off the energy, mate. Yeah. And he goes, I love it. He goes, I love being the underdog. And he goes and stands on the second top rope in Robbie's corner, going, yes, Robbie, well done.
You're kidding. As he's walking.
Just Robbie Carmen's going, it's fucking going, Robbie. Because Robbie's intimidating.
Of course, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And he intimidates a lot of people, and he gets out and does his thing, and Tarsus comes back and they touch gloves and they do the first round. And at the end of the first round, Robbie turns around to go back to his corner and Tosca goes, where you going? Fight's not over yet, mate. This bloke's going, oh, Jesus.
You were just shit stirring him the whole time.
Oh, you got no idea. It was actually fun. It was a fun fight.
And you're fighting Robbie Carmen, you're not fighting some bum.
Yeah. It was an 8-man competition, so they fight 3 rounds.
Yes.
Tosca, the decision went against Tarsus, and Robbie went on to into the finals. And he come up afterwards, he goes, you nearly cost me that $100,000, mate, because I nearly couldn't go out with that last fight. And years later, Robbie was being interviewed by a journalist and said, what was your hardest fight? He goes, every tie I've ever fought is my hardest fight. Oh yeah, and that Aussie bloke.
Really?
Yeah.
He remembers.
Yeah, they fought twice.
Yes.
They had a rematch, come back and had a rematch because the whole crowd loved it. You know? It was actually funny because the whole crowd erupted when Robbie came out on that first fight. And then we came out to watch him in the last fight, and there was another fight going on in the meantime. Yeah. And we were standing there watching, but the entire crowd wasn't watching the fight. They were all standing up, trying to get a look at Tarsus, who their bloke was. So much so that the promoter came up and grabbed us and took us and made us sit down at ringside. Because it wasn't looking
to attract the fight's attention.
They weren't. No one was looking at this fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's crazy that you had that draw as well.
And that's why they realised we have to have a rematch here. You know? Unfortunately, the rematch would last 1 or 2 rounds.
No, 4.
It did last 4 rounds.
4 rounds.
Yeah, a head clash in the end, and it was, you know, I'm in the corner, you know, because Robbie had this big cut down his head, and they're going, it was a head clash. I said, no, it was a right hand. It was a right hand. Yeah. He goes, and next you know, Tarsus started bleeding. Okay, it was a head.
Okay, straight as I weaved, he weaved straight into my head.
Yeah.
And he did that.
Caught it. Yeah. Bang. Yeah. You got caught. So speaking of sort of getting the crowd on your side and getting involved in the matches, what about your fight versus Gerald? How did that turn out? What was
that was interesting, man.
Take me through what was going through your minds at that time for the people that don't know what happened in that fight.
Well, it was winning the fight.
Yeah.
He was winning the fight, without a doubt.
Yeah. For people who don't know, the entire stadium was evacuated, right? I believe at that point.
Yeah, it was a fight.
All in brawl.
Jalal was a very tough Turkish fighter that was promoted by Tarek Solek, and it had to come because he was a very big name. He was a big name, and so they put it on to I think Chris put it on. I think
Chris put it on.
Yeah, your father put it on, and they fought, and there was some things going on in the crowd, and next you know the big riot erupted. It had nothing to do with the fight.
Yeah. Oh, it was nothing to do with what was going on in the ring. It was nothing to do with the fight.
No, there was because
he was losing the fight.
Yeah,
and everyone's tension was, you know, there was tension building, and all the Greek guys started throwing things at the Turks, and they all just
just erupted.
Just erupted.
And that was it.
And yeah, it was pretty. You know, a lot of people hiding under the ring and stuff like that. It was pretty funny. And Howard Lee, the promoter, was trying to stop it by going, The police are coming, the police are coming.
It was like police sounds.
Yeah, he making police sound. It was pretty funny.
Oh my gosh.
And rumour goes, I don't know how true it is, but it's a good...
Wasn't that at the pavilion?
No, that was Kilo Basketball.
Killer Basketball Center. I think I've been told that they use that now as they use that video as a way of showing what not to do, or the evacuation plan or
for security
purposes. Yeah. Fascinating. So you at least
it was funny. I got king hit that time. I saw my friend Zed Zachariah down amongst the middle of it,
Yeah.
So I went down there. To stand by him, and a couple of little things happened. Anyway, next you know, I'd given the guy a slap to say, "Calm down, mate. You're getting carried away, But if you look at the video, he'd taken off and he'd sneak. He'd come running down the stairs. He'd come in from behind me and went crack, and spun me right round. I went, "Who's there?" There was no one there in the middle of a crowd because he went hit, dropped to the ground, and sneaked out through everyone's legs.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
But he did a beautiful job.
He did a beautiful job.
And the next day I said to Z, "Thanks for the backup, mate." He didn't even know, until the next day.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Would you say that you were a rival with Gerald at that time? Or did you see yourselves as rivals?
At that time, he was a super middleweight champ of Australia, and I was a light heavyweight champ of Australia. And being Turk and being
You got a good memory.
Great, being great, and it was like bullshit confident. And
Yeah.
You can't lose to a Greek.
Yeah. That was the mindset. And speaking of rivals, could you point to anyone? Do you feel like there was any particular opponent that you had throughout your career that you would consider a rival like that?
Nick, though, of course, would have been a rival
at
the time, because there was a few bad words said prior to the fight.
Okay.
Because he was knocking everybody out too.
Yeah.
But he had like 7 straight knockouts for the first 2 rounds. And plus he was the first bloke to ever put me on my ass, and then when I got up, I go, "No, you fuck."
Yeah. There was a personal thing there.
Yeah, it was a personal thing. I really wanted to hurt him.
Yeah.
He was probably the only bloke I really wanted to hurt.
Yeah.
Than anyone else. The rest of the fights were...
What about Stan?
No, not really.
No. Okay.
Not really.
There was just more people that you.
It was just all hype. It
was hype.
It was all hype when you stand like, they don't get on you. I didn't even know Stan those days.
Yeah, fair enough.
He was a champ. I was taking his title off him. That's all it was.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you wanted to do. Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So, okay, now talking about sort of the later parts of both your careers, but in particular Tosca, you did at one point make that transition into the MMA world as well.
Yeah.
Now, Paul, I'm not too exactly sure if you were also around that too. Yeah. Okay. So, what was that transition like for both of you going into that world, and what was the change ups there?
It was pretty funny. MMA, they wear these little things on their hands.
Essentially fists. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was new to it. I didn't talk to many people about it, so it was my mistake. I said earlier on that I'm not stupid, but sometimes I am. Anyway, in moving around, and the bloke throws a punch, Toscas goes, bang! It goes through his guard.
Right.
And he looks at me and I went, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. That was my mistake.
Yeah.
Didn't even think of that. It changed it. Anyway, Toscas got him on the ground and ended up beating him on the ground, didn't you? Or
I got him on the ground and I thought, "Oh, fuck this." I got up and I went, "Get up." So I just knocked him out standing up.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to play his game because it was like, I got taught, if they get you on the ground, how to get back on my feet.
Yeah, that's what you were taught, yeah.
And basically, I'm going to play my game. I'm a stand-up fighter. I'm not a ground fighter.
Do you have a ground coach as well for the?
Yeah, I had a ground coach.
Yeah.
I had John Donahue at the time.
Yeah.
To just basically show me how to get out of arm bars, how to kimuras.
How to nullify his movements.
Get back on my feet.
Yeah.
Because I'm a striker. I'm not a ground fighter. I'm not going to sit there and learn in one session to be a ground fighter.
Yeah.
A fucking Gracie or something.
Exactly.
Because then it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go do what I do.
Yeah.
You know?
And how old were you at the time there, Todd?
39.
39. And what was...
Can't teach an old new tricks.
Yeah. What was the motivation for both of you to still be in the game at that age?
It was just something different. It was like when I went from kickboxing to boxing and with the MMA. It was like, it was just a new challenge.
It was just something there for him. It was a bit like when he used to kickbox, we kickboxed. That's different to when he was fighting in Japan and fighting with knees. We didn't fight with knees, as a kickbox until towards the end. And the same thing, I made the same mistake. As I said before, he was a dummy. he was the practice dummy, and he come back at the corner and goes, he's fighting Ernesto Hoost on 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah. Wow, 2 weeks' notice?
Yeah. Ernesto got a cut straight away, and the promoter's panicking because Toscas looked like he was going to beat him, you know.
Yeah.
He goes, he keeps tying me up, what do I do? I said, I don't know, mate, just push him off. Just get down low and push him off. So he got down low, push. As soon as his arms went out like this, the knee comes up, bang, Toscas gets robbed. Sorry about that, Toscas, that was my fault.
Yeah, you took the blame for that.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I told him to do it and he did it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the knowledge.
Bang.
We didn't have the knowledge.
But that's so interesting to me, because you both were operating during a time where it almost feels like it was the first time for all of these things, not just for you guys, but like in the world of MMA, particularly in Australia, in all the martial arts here in Australia. You were kind of the first, along with Sam as well in many ways, to bridge the gap between, again, boxing, kickboxing and MMA. So you're kind of learning on the job for most of these things, both of you.
You're right. Basically, you're right about that,
Yeah, and did you feel that, like, it seems like, from what I'm hearing now, that you were both just, your attitude was,
I'll put it this way,
go for it.
when they just say, oh, we should keep it's Thai box, right? Oh, we'll take the fight. Oh, I said, we'll take the fight, whatever. We didn't care about the rules. It's just a fight for me. So I should think about it.
Yeah.
I didn't worry about what rules it is. There used to be above the weight kickboxing, there was leg kicks, and then there was Thai boxing, and then they went to boxing, and then went to MMA. It was like, whatever fight you want to fight at, whatever rules, whatever, I don't care.
Yes.
I just want to fight.
Yes.
So that was my mind.
That was the mentality, you know. Yeah, and just hearing that now as well.
It was a big step for me to start training people for boxing, because I'd never boxed.
Right.
I never boxed, and I relied on my legs a lot when I fought.
Yeah.
And the distance is different.
Yeah.
The stance is different, more weight on the front leg, etc. And I found that I was very worried about it, because he was the first one. He was my first student to box, and I was really worried about it, that maybe I'm missing something here. And that's why when he did do MMA, at least we got him on the ground, someone to do work. And when Sam did MMA, and I said, Sammy, I can't help you here, mate. I can't help you. I can help do your stand-up, but you know, when Chris Brown used to come to my gym with his boys and we did stand-up work with him, I'd always say to him, I might teach you something which is not appropriate.
Right.
It's Chris's job to let you know that's not appropriate. And Chris used to, you know, he's not stupid. He would come and watch them, and so he might say, hey, the way he's telling you to stand, could be careful if the person's trying to take you down all the time.
Yeah.
So I was first to admit that, and I'm not going to learn how to do MMA, you know.
Yeah.
We did all right anyway. We
Yeah,
won
of
Australian
course.
titles in boxing,
That's right.
full world titles.
Yeah.
He did pretty good.
You did pretty good. Exactly right. Yeah.
He taught me pretty well, so we got pretty far.
Yeah, you got very far.
Yeah, he fought for the Commonwealth title, which is pretty rare. It's pretty hard to fight for the Commonwealth titles. Sometimes, in some ways, it's harder to fight for that than it is for some of the world titles that are out there.
How was that?
Boxing.
How was that experience?
Because there is only one federation.
Yeah.
There is only one Commonwealth champion in the world. There is a lot of world champions in the world.
Yes.
There's only one Commonwealth champion, so it's quite hard to be that person to fight that.
Yeah.
And he Toscas fought a guy named Chris Oko on the border of England and Scotland.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the town. But
Yeah.
that went 12 rounds. I thought Tosca had won it. But,
So did everybody else.
yeah, so did all the locals actually. But
So
over
the
there,
commentators too.
they don't have judges. The referee comes over and puts his hand on who he thinks won.
Puts his hand up and that's
Puts his
it.
hand on his
What?
Yeah.
What was that? Just the rules for that?
No,
particular-
that's the way it was.
That was what it was though.
Interesting. But meanwhile, everyone else thought that you had won that.
The commentators thought I won. Pat Crowd thought I won. I thought I'd won too.
Yeah.
It was a tough heart.
It was the first time I went 12 rounds in boxing.
Yeah.
I remember I was that exhausted for 30 seconds. I meant to go. I just dropped. He just hit me. I'm just looking at him and go, "Is that all you got?"
It's still going. Yeah.
That was, and after that fight, we flew across to America and watched Tyson Holyfield.
Holyfield, yeah.
Not where he bit the ear.
Not the end.
First
Yeah.
one,
Okay.
good one,
First
yeah.
one. Yeah.
And he slept the whole way.
You were exhausted by that
I was
point.
exhausted, yeah.
Absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
So now looking back, of course, we're at 5 Feet here, 5 Feet Moorabbin. How did your relationship as coach and fighter, how would you say it's progressed from back in your fighting days to now, considering at the same time, like, you're now in a position where you coach as well, Tosca, you train fighters as well. Do you feel like you personally have learned as a coach a lot from Paul?
Oh, of course I have.
Yeah.
Put it this way. If I have a hard time figuring out what to do, I actually go back to him sometimes and ask him.
Still.
You know what I mean? Because I haven't got all the answers sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned a lot of him. I use a lot of his stuff to train people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But sometimes I get frustrated and I have to go back and ask him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About how we're going to work this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're always referring to Paul in some manner.
Put it this way, you're always learning something. You know what I mean? Even when you're fighting, even when you're training, you always learn something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're not, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, he came to me one time and asked me, so how do I deal with their moods and this? And I said, well, you're just asking me, mate, because you guys never had those moods.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
It was the beauty of that whole era, was everyone was just there to train.
Do you think you would have been? I guess you would have had a different approach, at least to the game, considering if you didn't have people around you like Tosca or fighters under you who were so willing to just soak everything in.
Probably wouldn't have done it.
You probably wouldn't have done it.
Probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
You know, if they're not going to do it the way we should be doing it, let's not do it.
But it does take, at the same time, because you mentioned that, you know, it takes a lot of humility in some ways to even admit when you don't know something, even as a coach.
Oh, I used to always say, I don't know how to do it. No, I'm not sure what to do.
Well, in those situations, what would you do?
I remember saying,
Yeah.
Well, that's what we still believed in it. Believed in him all the time. Didn't care if he didn't know.
Yeah.
We'd work it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
One way or the other, it worked out. You know what I mean?
I remember his first loss against
Manson.
Gibson. He said, I said that after X amount of rounds, I said, you're actually losing this one, mate. He goes, what am I going to do? And I was a bit lost because this bloke was spinning around, throwing his leg. I was getting a bit confused. I said, just do what you're good at, mate. Just pick him up and throw him out of the ring. So he picked him up and threw him out of the ring. He did what I asked. I said it as a joke. I don't know, pick him up and throw him out of the ring. So he did.
You just listened. You just threw him out. Exactly.
And the funny thing about it was I was training so well for that fight because I was sparring Virgil Hill at the time. The sparring was fucking great.
Yeah.
And he come to some bloke who was just unorthodox. And the first 3 or 4 rounds, I think I got dropped about 6, 7 times. Got cut here, got cut here, got cut here. You know, and then Peter Lewis comes in the corner, goes, I'm going to stop the fight. I just turn around and go, fuck off. I go, listen to what Paul's going to tell me. Get the fuck out of my face, I'm fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was quite funny. The referee, Mick Hannafy at the time, he was he stopped the fight and gave Tarsa a standing 8 count. And Tarsa's standing there going, what are you counting for? But Tarsa didn't realise that he was doing
Wobbling.
He was wobbling like that. He's going, 4, take the count, Tarsas. 5, I said, take the count, mate. 6.
You know, what are you fucking doing, mate?
Yeah.
You're making me look bad.
Yeah, you were embarrassed. You were embarrassed out of everything.
You know, that was your 18th fight? Did you have 17 straight wins?
Yeah, 17 straight wins, 18th. Yeah, it was first loss.
Because Gibson was known, I remember speaking to Nick Carr about him, that there was he was known for sometimes saying a few words even leading up to fights as well to get people riled up. I don't know if he did that with you at all.
I didn't do it with me as much. We did it with Ernesto.
Ernesto, yeah.
We did it with Ernesto.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember he just always in his ear in Japan.
What happened in that fight?
In the K2, remember? The K2, because Ernesto was fighting Manson first fight. And we're at the weigh-ins. And Manson's in his fucking ear because, you know, I walked up to him and go, you know, Ernesto was there. Just to word him up, you know, like work him up. And he's like, he goes, no, the typical American. Went up there and started being like, yeah, too fast, too quick.
Yeah.
You know?
So what happened? What happened in the fight?
And Ernesto won, but the thing was he got dropped too.
Oh, did he?
He got dropped with the spinning heel.
Okay, I can't remember it.
He got dropped with the same thing I got dropped.
Same thing. Sort of on repeat.
You know?
So, okay, now, again, mentioning sort of the
Went distance.
Went the distance.
Really? Yeah, went distance with him.
I'll look that up.
Fantastic. Now, again, being at Fyfield, being at Moorabbin, obviously, Paul, you set up this place. You know, this is.
Well, Joe Kershaw.
Joe Kershaw,
set it up,
yes,
and I helped him. And then when Joe left, Bash took over.
Yep.
I said to Bash, I said, do you want to help me out here?
Yeah.
That was my way of saying, do you want to run it?
Do you want to run it for you? Yeah. Well, what do you think the legacy of Fyfield is to you now, and what do you hope it to become potentially in the future as well? Obviously, Tosca's a big part of that as well, being one of the best trainers.
Well, it's very different to when I train people to fight. This is a place where people can come and have fun without being too serious.
Yeah.
I'd be more interested in their fitness and things like that, and that's why the Fight Fit Challenge is a really good aspect of Fight Fit itself. It gives people who just want to come along and learn how to do a bit of boxing, and
Just normal people, basically.
I might try and fight, and it's been really, really good to see that. I probably took, I don't know, 20 or so of those Fight Fit challenges, training everyone up, and it was so good to see the transformation in such a short time.
Yeah.
From people who, Percy used to come in and say, they won't be ready in 8 weeks. And I used to think, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'd go, no, just wait. You watch.
Yeah.
You watch. Because a lot of these people are very driven.
Yeah.
And it's like, I won't use that expression. It's like an old girl. She gives it her all on her last one, just in case it's her last, So they're only going to do it once. Yeah. They're only going to do it once sometimes, and they just give it their all, And then they realise, hey, that was good.
Yeah.
So some of them have done it numerous times now, but they really do go for it. And a lot of the professional referees and judges go, I much prefer these nights because they really go for it. They really there because it's their.
Like potentially the last fight.
Yeah, they're not worrying about throwing a jab and just going the distance and winning the fight.
Yeah.
They actually want to win it.
Yeah. And they want to go out and blaze the glory.
People want to see an actual fight. They don't want to see people running around like. So you go to some pro fights, and you see one guy just running around, and the crowd gets bored.
Yeah.
People pay to see you fight.
Yeah.
Not pay to see you run away.
Yeah.
Like he used to tell me, he goes, mate, just go in there and fight, mate.
Yeah.
Don't go run.
Yeah.
People come to pay to see you fight.
Yes.
Not to see you fucking run away like a chicken.
Yeah.
So I just used to fight it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what the challenge does provide people, because again, it's like
what the challenge does.
It's the ones.
They're raw people. They absorb everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's been really good. Fight Fit's been very good for that. It just gives just anyone who can walk in off the street and get some fitness and get some skills. It's not just boxing aerobics, whatever they call it, boxercise, when they're just punching.
Yeah,
They actually teach them properly. And a lot of the guys who are there have all been fighters themselves. Nick Cara, for example, Tosca Petridis, Tony Torcasio, Cameron Ayers, et cetera, et cetera. They're actually good fighters themselves, very good fighters and good instructors, and it's really good. And so we've got the Fight Fit Challenge, which is the next step up, and now I know Bash is interested in getting the Masters and running the Masters, and hopefully that'll give some of the older people a chance to
have a go,
take it another step as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's another aspect to Fight Fit, and so Fight Fit's got a lot of offerings to people, of different ages, different abilities.
Yeah. Well, it's great because, at least from my experience and just being with you two as well, but soaking up the energy of the gyms, is that everyone there, particularly the trainers, they've gone through wars before. Like you've got.
But the thing is, we have fun with the clients.
Yes, you have fun.
Clientele.
Yeah,
we don't sit there and.
You just abuse half of them.
Yeah.
But they abuse us back.
And they love it.
It's a fun thing.
It's so funny when sometimes when trials will come in, and I'll say they come to the 5:30 boxing technique class that Tosca runs, and they'll go, who's the coach for today? They've never come in, and I said, that's your coach there. And they go, him. And I'm like, yeah, that's him. He's got a
good-looking guy.
They freak out, and then Tosca comes up to him and starts stirring him and joking around with him. There's some people that don't know what to do, but most of them are like, this is fantastic. They have fun, they relax, they get into it, and then they're like, oh, I'm actually being treated like a human being here, and not just like some client that you're trying to sell. You want to come here and have fun.
You want to have fun with them.
Yeah, exactly, and learn something.
Good to show them to have fun. If they're not having fun, they're not going to learn.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly right. And I think that's, as you said, that's what Fight Fit offers, but also the challenge, particularly, it's an opportunity for people to
it's not too serious.
Get in there.
That way.
Yeah, exactly. Even the Fight Fit nights themselves, they're fun.
Yeah.
There's the glitz and glamour of having an actual fight. Getting a big walk.
They are good nights, aren't they?
They are spectacular.
They get nervous. They do this and that. It's all part of the game.
It's part of the game. It's a taste.
It's like a fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I stopped taking the Fight Fit training, the Fight Fit Challenge training, and Faisal took over, deep down, I really wanted him to fail.
Really?
I wanted him to fail. He's just walked in here. But I didn't want him to fail because I thought, without me, they can't do anything. But he's done a better job than me, the arsehole. You know? He's done such a good job.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yes, yes. No, there's the energy is electric at the moment. Just even seeing the guys train now, the girls, it's phenomenal. And I think it's a testament, obviously, to your hard work and Tosca for obviously injecting all that energy back in there and getting world-class training. That's what people should realize, is that it's literally world-class training. So thank you both again for your time. Thank you for all that you do for the company, and
thank you, Nikita. And next time, if there is a next time,
yes,
let's talk about your father more.
Probably not.
Talk about his dad. About his shaved blonde hair.
What? No, yeah, back in the day. Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you,
buddy.
Tosca.
I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you, Paul. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.